welcome everybody to another energy reading for today, May 27. I forgot my other phone. Sometimes I don't get the live comments on my feed, and so I need to grab my other phone to keep up with comments. So all right, there we are. We'll see who's able to hop on with us. I'm still in kind of awe of just how we're wrapping up this month. It's been such an interesting month, such an interesting passageway, and it will continue to be. We will continue to go through so many different powerful passageways forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. That's never going to end. However, it does get better. Like, the more we open up to the changes and the more we open up to everything that's happening, the easier it gets, the easier we are able to acclimate to all of the continual shifts and changes that will take place in your personal reality and in the world as a whole. So this is a preparation phase for every single one of us. And I had a dear sister kind of bring up me doing somehow or some a type of like predictions. Share my predictions, or share what I feel is coming. But I feel like it's more than a predicting what's to come. I feel like it's more of a preparation for what's to come. So, because we get so caught up in like, what's gonna be our future or what's gonna happen, and yet, I mean, we could dive into all of these things, and yet I feel for me and for everyone, the biggest thing is to continually open up to what's happening right now in your world and also in the world as a whole, so that you can become much more prepared of what's to come. So one of the things that came through just before I went here is we're going to continue to see a lot of extremes in every way. Extreme polarity, extreme duality, an extreme roller coaster, extreme weather patterns, extreme changes. You literally going from night to day in a very significantly or relatively short amount of time. We're going to continue to see falls. And it's interesting with the falls, I mean, there's so much to read into that energy, but it's interesting when we talk about falls. A friend of my parents just recently fell, and it was interesting because she had fallen like maybe a month ago or 2 months ago, and then I thought, oh yes, you told me, and my mom's like, no, she fell again. And then recently my dad was actually Oh, how funny. He was on a ladder. He was trying to get up to the roof. And it's so funny. The first thing is like, he was trying to ascend. But it wasn't stable. He wasn't on a stable, like, ground, which tends to happen. And he kind of slid down and bruised this part of his arms. And so he didn't technically fall, but he was close to it. And it was just it's very synchronistic. It's very, everything has a purpose and has a meaning. And while we tend to prevent falls, the biggest thing to allow is the fall that each person is going to internally go through. You're going to go through a fall. It's part of the process. It's actually quite necessary to allow it. It's part of the breaking point. It's part of so many different things. It's part of the realignments that support you in living out more of your mission, like your light galactic mission here. And so when we talk about falls and falling, even when I have my little kiddos here, they have such an open and free space that they do so many things that other people may be like, oh my God, this, they can fall and whatever, or be careful. And yet I'm not instilling that energy in them. And so they rarely fall. It's so magical because they get to experience different things in a way that's not fearful. Hi, Mary Ashley, welcome, and anybody that's here. And so, and when they do, this isn't to say that they've never fallen, because they have, but it's something that's like, oh, it happened. They get back up. They're perfectly fine for the most part, and then we move on. Like, it's not a big deal, but we get so caught up in the mind, the fear of the what if, the what could happen. And this is a very interesting energy, because I also, there's been moments where people have shared, I'm like, what if this happens, or what if that happens? And I go into the what ifs myself, but I go into them more consciously, where I'm feeling them. I'm feeling, holy shit, if this happens, how would I actually feel about it? And that's going into the energy of different potentials and different timelines in a much more conscious way, where you're not fearing it. You're not resisting it anymore. You want to open yourself up to everything, the what ifs, and the different possibilities, so that you can feel that reality emotionally before it actually happens. In fact, when you go into the deep what ifs of worst case scenario and you feel them first, it's very likely that you are less likely to create that in your reality. And so stay wide open to everything. Allow yourself to really fall inside of you, fall emotionally, break mentally. Allow your world inside of you to collapse, because the more that you allow it, the easier it is or the more you're going to experience a physical reality alignment that's not traumatic. Because when you experience things inside of you first, you are much more prepared when they actually do happen in your physical reality. And that's a huge key for every single one of us, because we live so disconnected from our bodies, from the energy world, from the energy inside of us, which is part of the reason why our physical reality falls and crumbles, and it becomes a very traumatic experience that we continue to prevent it from happening again. And it happens again because of the energy that we hold inside of us. And so don't be afraid to go into these phases of, again, the extreme emotional, the extremes of emotions, extreme of mental and physical collapses that will happen inside of you. Because the more that you do, the smoother your physical reality becomes. Hi Daniel, welcome. So we're going to continually see this in our world. April, we had that big eclipse, right? Total eclipse. May was a huge energetic or solar month where we had a lot of solar activity. We had that geostorm, very extreme geostorm. We had the auroras come through in at very low latitudes, right? Latitudes. Again, which serves the continual preparation of what's to come. So we're moving into the 6th linear month of the year. That's going to bring a lot of it's going to continually bring things into the physical. It's going to be a lot of physical movements, physical shifts, physical changes. It's going to kind of bring us down into a new perception of what's actually happening, the reality that you're in. It's going to bring a lot of new realities as well. New realities, new physical body and physical world alignments that will support you in continually collapsing your old 3D grids inside of your body. So the collectives are in the 3rd dimensional level of consciousness, are going to experience things a little bit differently. The people all of us are light keepers. We're all way showers. We all come into this consciousness at different points of our reality. So every single person that is a little more open to this, we get to choose things first. So we get to choose the new first, we get to dissolve the old first too, we get to create new realities more consciously, and this is a ripple effect that will expand and reach many, many other people so that they can also choose the same things. The more we continually focus on what's happening inside of our bodies and in our physical realities, it's almost, it's the same thing. Your physical body is reflecting out at some level, and you're seeing it in your physical world, right? So the more that you open yourself to your physical body, what's happening, where am I unconsciously doing this and that, and not wanting this, or fighting this, or judging this, or all of these different things, the more you're going to allow your body to clear those energies. And hence, or simultaneously, you will, that is how we literally dissolve the old 3D gridding system, the old 3D systems from inside of us. It's actually not that complicated. It's not hard from when you do it from this more conscious space. The linear mind will always complicate things, by the way. That's its job. It's like, that's what we paid it to. That's how we created it. That's how we programmed it. It's us. We did it. And so allowing, like, remembering that, teaming that in your perception, and then opening yourself up to what's going on inside of you, mentally, emotionally, physically, and bringing yourself into this more open state of breathing more consciously. And breathing more consciously will always be your go-to key, your go-to tool, your most powerful, one of the most powerful exercises that we can all practice, that we can all do no matter what. And it's the cheapest too. When you allow yourself to deepen your connection to your breathing and deepen your connection to your light body, all worlds that need to collapse, and all worlds that need to merge. They unify. Your light is able to enter into your body much more deeper. And what happens then, the more light you hold inside of you, the more your light is able to shift and clear and rebalance and recalibrate every existence, everything. It's a practice, it's a continual practice of really noticing when, how, and even why you are choosing not to be here, not to be in this moment, not to be in this now, not to be in your body. It's a trauma response, it's the trauma reaction, it's the fight or flight. And yet, the more you allow yourself to stay present, even when you realize, okay, yeah, I'm a little scared here, this is what's going on, everything that you perceive to be a threat starts to fall. It's part of the fall. It's part of the collapse. Your perception shifts, and you're able to maintain yourself much more connected while you feel all of these different things. So I talked a little bit about this in the last video, and I don't think she's here. Michelle kind of brought some more things about her experience about relaxation. And there's a couple of things that I wanted to say about that. So when you feel like you're not able to fully relax, when you feel like, whoa, there's a lot of things happening right now, okay? You're never going to be in a state where only one thing is happening or one thing is true. There's always going to be many, many aspects of you inside at any given moment. So there are aspects of you that will be in this very stressed, fearful, fight or flight, in a fight or flight mode. But you're always, always, always going to have the opposite aspect of you present. The biggest thing is to start to realize how much or how active, how connected you are to each one of them. So there will be a moment where a lot of aspects that are in the, fear, chaos, stress are activated. Okay, this is where we go through the anxiety or the panic attacks or all of these different things. That's because there has been an enormous amount of aspects that are very disconnected, that live in separation. They've been activated. A lot of them have been activated kind of all at once, right? However, you're always going to have that opposite aspect, the higher self aspect that is in pure peace and is much more stable and it's much more calm. And I want you to just open up to this, to like this realization, so that you can allow yourself to be present with both, kind of in a way, like equally. One of the things that I also wanted to share about that is we're always like, there's this like mechanism of like trying to be here and trying to feel this and trying to, think this or try. And we're always in this trying, which keeps us away from a goal. Actually, it's kind of like a mind twister when it's like, but I'm trying. Well, you're actually doing the exact opposite of what you need to do in order to achieve what you're trying or attempting to do. So the biggest thing is to kind of like step back a little bit. Stop trying. Because when we talk about trying, there is a lot of underlying energies that tie into the fight, the fight or flight, and the resistance. It's one of those things that tie to, like, when people talk about, like, how to raise your vibration, or how to clear your mind, or how to do this or how to do that. This isn't something that you try to do linearly from your head. This is something that you allow to come through you in the most organic and natural way, that you don't have to try to do it. Because technically speaking, this is your essence. Your essence already knows how to do that, but we've been so disconnected from the essence, and we've been so connected to the ego separation. The ego will always try and fight and do everything very complicated, because it actually does not want to get there, and it will never want to achieve what it says it wants to, ever, because the ego programming is an extreme lack of self-worth, an extreme lack of unworthiness, and an extreme belief of undeservingness. So while you're saying, I'm trying to do this or I'm trying to do that, the ego will never actually do something that makes it achieve that. So it's always going to be, going around and round and round and round and round. So we make things very hard and we make things very complicated. I mean, that's how this whole old world was meant to be anyway. And there's a moment where you're like, okay. So there's a moment when you come into this, wow, okay. Okay, I am starting to feel this a little bit more. And sometimes it becomes very subtle. I've had moments where I'm like, oh my God, I did not see this. Like, I did not see how much I was still resisting and fighting and controlling this process or this thing that I wanted. And it's everything. You come into this, oh my God, I've been doing this so much. And all this time I thought I wasn't. All this time I thought I was just in this, more allowing space, but it kind of gets a little tricky. The ego has, and the ego has mastered so many things. This is why it will continually be this never-ending process, because we have held on to the separation aspects for so long, which is part of the reason why they will always exist at some point. And yet we're moving through finally this powerful phase where light is finally becoming stronger, and it's taking over. So again, kind of going back to allowing yourself to be exactly where you are. Because in that presence, in that moment, when you're able to become present with anything and everything that's going on in your body, in your world, a shift occurs. And again, this is all done internally. Your body is doing this. We just have to become a little bit more conscious, and we have to continually be present in exactly where we are, even if it's this very stressed, very chaotic, very you don't want to be there. You want to be more relaxed. And yet your body will naturally achieve it the more you are present with where you are. The stress that's happening, the fear, the anxiety, the panic, all of these things that are happening inside of your body. We try very quickly to not feel those things. We automatically want to, it's almost like, we want to be relaxed all the time. And it's not to say that, you shouldn't be at some level relaxed, but your body's method of communicating to us is through some level of discomfort. And it's just how we program the body as of now. So allowing yourself to be open to that level of discomfort when you're not in pure relaxation is huge, because there's so much information that will come through for you the more you open yourself up and are just super present with everything that's happening right now, with what you're feeling. There is a fine line though of if you, because, and again, this is all relative to everyone's body, it's relative to where you are, but your body is able to shift things very, very quickly. You'd be surprised. Here we are, like our linear mind just thinks that, oh, I'm just going to be here in this misery, or I'm going to cry for hours, or I'm going to be in this pain for however long. But your body is so quick. Your light works at light speed. So it is able to shift things relatively quicker or faster than what you think and even want. So I always say, like, if there seems to be kind of these like stretched out period of, you know, whatever, anxiety, panic, chaos, unrelaxed states, then there is an underlying energy inside of you that is resisting this. Resistance will always elongate that phase. So, however, when you're in the roller coaster of like, oh, I'm great, and then you hit those low points again, extreme fear, extreme anxiety, or whatever the case may be, but you become fully present and fully open to that experience, the body is able to shift it, and again, time just depends, but you're able to the body is able to shift out of that experience relatively quickly. And so again, you're like, oh, okay, lighter, much more open, much more at peace. Okay, and then however long you're there, it's great, it's perfect, and then you'll just know that this is very normal. This is frequency. We are frequency in form. So we're always going to experience this. However, the key is to become so balanced inside so that you can maintain a level of stability no matter what's going on, no matter how you feel, no matter how your body needs to clear. Because there's going to be a lot of extreme ways in which the body needs to clear sometimes. It's going to be like extreme crying, or extreme flushing, or extreme this, or extreme, headache, or whatever the case may be. And yet, again, the more that you open up to becoming so fully open and present with that experience, even when you feel like, oh my God, I'm not relaxed, oh my God, this is, a lot of fear is coming up for me, the more you stay present and just open, just flow with it, the more your body is able to shift you out of that experience, shift whatever it's trying to shift, clear whatever it's trying to clear, and bring you back into more peace and more calm and more relaxation. So, hi Forrest, welcome. Yes, it makes sense now that frequency is measured in waves. So we are always going to be a wave of, in every way. The more we really connect to the energy, connect to ourselves as energy, the easier it becomes to adjust to like the waves. You're explaining exactly what you were explaining exactly what is going on in me. That helps me very much. Thank you. You're very welcome, Daniel. Thanks for being here. And whoever else is here. The extremes that we're going to experience are such a normal part of this process. And with the whole like staying relaxed or staying present or staying relaxed, it's more of us staying present even when you're not fully relaxed, even when you're going through so much fear. A lot of fear gets activated. One of the things that I've learned is that as more light comes through, it will trigger very deep unconscious fears that you don't even know why you're fearful of that. And so there's going to be a lot of things that get activated inside of us that we don't know why. We don't know why this is happening. We do not know why I'm fearing this. We don't know a lot of things because we don't remember a lot of things that have occurred. They're just stored they're just deeply buried in our cells, our cellular memories, cellular bodies. And so light is like a laser that just goes straight into the cells and straight into the fears and straight into the old programs. And because we're receiving a lot of light right now, the amount of fears that are being triggered are enormous. There's so much. And I see it, and I hear people talking about it, and I can also sense it based on what people say and based on what people do. It's all fear-based. It's all fear-based for the most part. Not to say that it's all every single person, because it's beautiful when you start to not act from that, when you start to live in a very different way. You actually get to activate those aspects, those higher self, love-based aspects in other people. And so you get to see people soften and people opening up their hearts because you chose to do it first. Like you are transmitting those frequencies out that are that's basically like a permission slip. You get to gift other people permission to do that too. And then people feel safe because you live in this and you live from that. That's the energy that you embody and that surrounds you. And so other people start to open their hearts too. And it's beautiful to see and it's beautiful to experience. And again, it comes from you, your choice. Oh, yes. Okay. What was and what is going on in me? Got it. Okay, cool. Okay, so I was talking about being present with where you are instead of trying to be somewhere else, or instead of trying to experience something different. It's huge, it's massive. Again, there's so much information that your body is trying to communicate through everything. Everything that you feel and everything that you're sensing right now has information. But you're not able to fully receive it or fully access it if you're not present with what's going on right now with you. We try to escape all the time because part of us does not feel worthy or ready or deserving of the information we need. So we keep escaping, and we keep controlling the body, and we keep fighting the body, and we keep wanting things to be this way or feel this way or look this way. And the more you allow everything to come up, and the more you allow yourself to be present with everything, your body is able to shift what needs to shift, what needs to be cleared, so that your body can achieve. Your body is then able to connect to light. And the more you're connected to your light, the more you're going to be in this calm, relaxed, peaceful, joyful, loving, gratitude-filled energy. It comes naturally. This is who we are. We don't have to try anything. We don't have to try to be who we are, because that automatically says you are resisting it and you actually don't want to. So allowing yourself to be more conscious of those barriers and those old beliefs and those old programs that are still deep inside of us, so that we can say, you know what, that's it. I'm done with making things hard. I'm done with making things complicated. I'm done with trying or doing things the ego linear way. Be done with that. Let yourself be in this new flow. Let yourself open up to everything. And you're going to see how magical and how magical everything is, and how everything really does support you. Everything becomes an opportunity, right? Just like what we were talking about yesterday. Welcome, Adrian. About everything becomes an opportunity. Everything becomes a door, an access point to ourselves. Everything. When I say everything, like, it's everything. The linear mind wants to make exceptions, or, you know, what about this or what about that, and it's like, it's everything. Hi. When we say everything, we mean everything. There's no exception. So take everything as a door that you now have access to. You have the keys inside of you to open it up and just see what's on the other side. Explore, right? Be a kid. Nothing will ever be bigger than you. And when you start to really feel into that, you start to see everything very different. You start to see everything that you once feared as like a very small aspect of yourself. Right? Everything that we thought was bigger, we thought was very scary, or we thought was more powerful than us is just a distortion of what we could see. And more light means you could see more. And that's exactly what we are going to continually experience. With more light coming through, with more of these, even the solar flares and whatnot. These are more light. This is more light coming into the planet and coming into the world, which means people are going to start to see more. And not only that, they're going to start to see themselves more. And that is one of the biggest, most powerful experiences of this whole entire journey, like being able to see ourselves, because we haven't learned to do it. We haven't wanted to see all that we have been. We've never wanted to confront those aspects of ourselves that we think we're not. Well, we have nothing to fear, period. Even fear. Fear isn't something to be feared. Fear is something to be felt. And the more you feel into your fears, the more you are able to see just how small they actually are compared to who you are as light. So even that quote has an old programming. Thank you for sharing it though, because it gave me the opportunity to just, shift that into, okay, fear is just an energy. Fear needs to be felt. Fear is a teaching tool, which is part of the reason why it exists. But the more we fear it, the less we get to feel it, and the heavier it becomes. When something is not truly, fully felt consciously, it becomes bigger. It becomes heavier. And so allowing yourself to see and fully feel everything automatically shifts it and makes it lighter. So, the biggest thing with that is continually feeling things inside of you. Continually connecting those dots inside of your body. Because at some level, things do have to come into like this tangible physical sensation before parts of us pay attention to it. Everything's gonna be very like, oh, it's out there. Oh, like I'm just sensing a little bit. When you start to feel it in your body and it becomes very uncomfortable and painful, that is like, holy shit, okay, what's happening? Like that gets your attention. And there are moments and there are purposes for why your body will deliberately go through those experiences, because it needs your attention. It needs you to be more present. It needs you to be more open. There's a lot of information that is being offered in that experience. And so take it. Open yourself up through conscious breathing and allow that information to come through you. It may take some time. It may take more clearing and processing for you to access like deeper levels of that information. But just know that the more that you open up and the more that you honor it, the more you're going to be able to access that. And it's important to what am I trying to say? Part of the reason why you know, we go into the body so much and we focus so much on the body and what's inside of you, is because the information that the carbon-based body stores is based on the old 3D programming of duality, separation, and fear. And there's a lot of information still held inside of the body that is based on that. So the biggest thing is to continually feel this heaviness, feel the distortions inside of your physical body, so that so that the information that's coming, so that the pure knowledge and higher self, higher consciousness knowledge that is underneath that layer of old distorted knowledge it comes through, comes out, but it can't, like, this is why, like, a lot of I'll say, like, let everything come out. Emotions, thoughts, words, doesn't matter. It's just energy. But you need to let all that heaviness out. Doesn't matter what words come through. It doesn't matter how, you know, if you're like, if an aspect of you, of a kind of a violent and very like verbal aspect of you comes out of you, let it. That energy is blocking all of the higher self, higher light consciousness to come out. So let all the words out, let the thoughts out, write them out if you're guided to, so that your body is no longer holding on to the distortions of like distorted information that keeps you in fear, keeps you in duality, keeps you in protection mode. And yes, there's still a lot of that within this community. And part of it is because there's still a lot of density and a lot of separation held within the physical body. And so the information that comes through is rooted in that, rooted in the duality and rooted in the ego aspect. And there's a moment where we can't do that. So we have to continually feel, go deeper, allow more aspects to come out, so that what we share and what we do and how we say it comes from our light, higher self, higher knowing, higher consciousness. Hi, welcome Louise, welcome. Hi Jude, welcome. And you're going to see a shift as well with that. Like there's a lot of things that you're going to start to feel different about. And it's beautiful because I've been seeing that for quite a while now, of just different people and different that have shared of like, oh, you know, this idea doesn't resonate anymore, or this doesn't, it's still fear-based. And when you're able to feel things, when you're able to feel the fear-based in the information that you're reading or seeing or hearing, it's huge. It's huge. Because it will trigger, it will activate, that's part of the purpose. But the more you allow yourself to take that and go deeper inside and feel into what's being activated, the more that gets cleared, and the more that type of information is able to move out of your reality, because it no longer aligns with your pure light and with higher levels of consciousness. And so you get to then realign, you get to trust more in yourself as well, and trust more in what's going on. Because even if a lot of people are still believing that, it doesn't make it higher consciousness. And when we talk about, the spiritual passageway, I mean, this is part of the process. This is part of the journey for every single one of us. We do not stay believing the same things. Once you start to access deeper levels within the body and you start to feel deeper levels, you move out of those old beliefs that are still held within even the spiritual passageway. And you start to open up to like new beliefs and new information that doesn't keep you bound to the fear or the protection, right? It empowers you out of that, and it allows you to remember more of who you are and more of your essence. So anyway, if there's, I don't even know what time. Okay. Oh, okay. We're good. I wanted to do a little like light body meditation. I did put the Zoom link in the description for anybody. And I wanted to talk a little bit more if there's anything specific that you guys are like experiencing or sensing or going through. I know some of you guys have shared. There's so much. There will always be so much with the body, what we're sensing with the body, what's happening to the body, and one of the things that I feel supports is, again, becoming more present with it, which is what we do in the light body meditation. You become more present with the body. You become a little more connected to the body so that you're no longer in fear of what you think is happening to the body. So our linear mind will always have a very limited and very close and very fearful perception of what it's experiencing, especially when there's a lot of discomfort, when there's pain involved, when you feel things that you've never felt before or in the way that you felt them before. And this is all going to be such a normal part of this whole physical ascension. That your body you're going to activate parts of your body, and you're going to feel parts of your body that you never have before, or you never have in the way that you're experiencing them now. And this is part of the cells activating and the cells waking up, and your cells are moving finally. We've lived such deep levels of stagnation, deep levels of very slow moving. Everything's been very slow. And while there may have been a lot of like fast, it was fast but from fear. It's like this adrenaline kind of energy where it's like, but it's coming from fear. It's coming from lack. It's coming from protection. It's coming from your fight or flight programming. So while you may think that's like, a lot of energy is moving, yeah, there's a lot of energy moving, but it's not moving. It's not moving from pure love. It's moving from fear, right? And so there's a moment where things happen within your body, things happen within your reality that shift that brings you into a halt and brings you into the state of awareness, realization of what's happening. until, and obviously there's a clearing, and there's all of these different things that happen in order for you to then kind of like spin backwards and move as light, move from this pure balance, pure light space inside of you. So there will be a lot of stillness. There's going to be a lot of pulling back from a lot of things. We stopped doing a lot of things that we used to do. We stopped engaging, with realities that we were so used to. Because the body needs to disconnect from all of those realities and the people and the environment around the environment period in order to shift. It's almost like, and one of my teachers said this, and it was just like mind-blowing. When we talk about separation and disconnection, that is still very much needed. But the key is we need to separate and disconnect from all of the things and frequencies and energies that keep us bound to the old, that keep us in the separation inside of us. So we need to disconnect from all of these different things, energies, environment, realities, so that our bodies are no longer connected to those systems and those grids, and that allows the body to then fully start and fully clear them. But you can't at some level clear the old when you're still deep in it, right? So like, for instance, when I quit my last job, and I started to separate myself from different environments, that's when my body started this like next level clearing and next level cleansing that I had never experienced before. But I knew that it wasn't technically possible at some level if I was still going to work every day, if I was still re-entering those realities. Part of my guidance back then, it was like, be at work, obviously, however long you need to be there, but like when you get a chance, like go outside, go eat outside, or take a break and just be outside. Don't, because I went from being stuck inside that office and inside the building for 9 hours. I would not leave. It was just so crazy. But thinking about it now, but as I continued to open up and I started to awake more and I started to be like, oh my God, this is not where I want to be, my body was like pushing me out, like, okay, however many times you can leave this space, do it. And my job was so lenient, super, like, it was a dream job at some level, because it was so relaxed and so lenient, and I could literally just leave anytime I want. Anyway, my body was like pushing me out the door, like, okay, whenever you get a chance, whenever you get a break, whenever it's possible, just get out of here, go outside, take a walk, be in nature, lay down on the grass. And it was a beautiful, like, open space. There's a lot of trees and open green areas around it, so it was beautiful. But again, that was preparing me for when I left that job and I left that environment. My body was a little bit more acclimated to being out of that environment. So it was a little bit easier. But again, it was like I needed to not re-enter those realities, which is part of the reason why I also left Texas. I had to leave everything. My parents' apartment. I moved out of my parents' apartment, and then I had to leave the apartment that I had just moved into. And at the time, it was, my partner and I were like, we need to leave the whole freaking state. And so that was a huge process that I had. I actually, it's so interesting because ever since I landed in Texas, it was like I had a very tough time. And so looking back at like just how long I lived in Texas, I had never had that experience of like being outside of the state for so long. And there was so much around that, and so much with like what I had experienced, and just the energies of that state or something else. I'll just say that. Anyway, I could not be there. And so it was very clear once, we were pushed out, that I needed to separate completely from that state in order for my body to clear all of the gritting systems that had been created because I had lived there for how many years? 23 years in that state. Oh, you're welcome. Yes, absolutely, Forrest. So wherever you are right now, just know that everything will always shift. Always and always and forever, right? So even while you are in a place and location that is fully supporting you right now, is, it is, or even if you are, you are in a transitory phase right now, which a lot of us are. There's many changes coming with our environment, our reality, our physical world, because there's different things to activate in different locations. So part of the reason why there was a lot of movement for me, this was back in 2020, is because my body had to go physically to like different places in order to support my body in the clearings, the activations, the integration process that I needed to go through. So there will be, there's always a purpose for traveling. Always. It's so huge for every single one of us. It's a huge, massive passageway. It's a quantum, it's this super cool quantum corridor that now that I see it more, I'm like, oh my God, the road is like this tunnel. It's like this physical tunnel passageway that you're going through, that's like, supporting you in quantum leaping, and like, and it supports you so much. And sure enough, this past trip that I did was so huge and so massive, and there's so many things and even that trip was very it was very interesting because we were moving so much, which is kind of rare. We normally don't do that. It was like we were just moving. Okay, now we gotta do this, and now we gotta do that, and now do this, and now do that. And there's so much movement. I was beat every day. I was like, I'm exhausted. So it was like the moving, obviously, and then the keeping your energy field stable with all of these people that you're normally not with, and even the people that I am usually with, like all of the things that they had to work through and all the things that they had to like move through. Oh my God. I was very like humbled and like very appreciative of my body and just how well my body did. But then there were moments where I'm like extreme cough and the mucus and like just so many shifts that my body had to go through that I was just like, thank you. Like now I understand why I had to go through the massive amounts of clearings that happened like back in February. February was like so huge and so massive and extremely intense physically. And so coming back from that trip, I was like, okay, yeah, I get it. My body had to go through those shifts and those clearings, because if not, my body would not have been able to just handle all of that. So it allows you to really appreciate more of what your body has to go through when you are pushed into all of these different shifts and changes and you know, traveling wise or not traveling wise, but like your body is able to maintain so much more than before. And when you go through that experience, you're just kind of like, oh, okay, I get it. Welcome, Pamela. Hi, Lilith. Yeah, the traveling thing, I feel like that's what you're referring to with the same. The traveling is just so big and so huge. There's so many things that your body is able to work through and move through when you're traveling like that. And so, so huge, so huge. I kind of resisted at some level, but I'm like, oh, it's just so supportive. It's so supportive. However, I do want to, I mean, like, I love traveling. I love it. I did one trip earlier this year, and I want to do another one, but there is a lot that like comes with it that I'm probably a little resistant right now. But I did know that I needed time once I got back to Mexico, that I just needed to like, okay, I need to just relax. I need my body to recalibrate. I need to just rest. And like that week, the following week that I came back, it was like everything got canceled. And like I was just like, interesting. Okay, I still need my space. Like I still needed to just honor the space that I needed. And so it was very interesting. I had very little interaction with other people. So anyways, oh, that's so cool. Egypt, the pyramids. Pyramids have definitely been coming through a lot, just in general, mainly through the course that I'm teaching right now. Such a powerful energy, such a powerful vortex too, for any of you guys that are called to that are like physically being guided to go there. I remember one time one of my teachers mentioned this, and I felt it was like it made sense, you know, because some people will be physically guided to go and some people won't. And so it's important to just honor honor your journey and honor where you are. There's some of us that will connect to those energies and will work with those energies, not having to physically, kind of be there. But then again, it's like once you see them in pictures and stuff like that, it's like at some level you are there, right? At some level, like your energy is able to connect. You're able to activate just through pictures. Again, everyone's different. I had another sister of mine also like go there, and and it was a calling for her too. So you do have to like be called, which is, I feel like, part of, like, there's a phase where it's like you just kind of stay put, but there's other moments where it's like, I gotta go here, or I gotta go, like something's calling me. And however that plays out for everyone, and whenever it does play out, you're being prepared. We're being prepared right now for everything. Our new realities, our traveling, activations, adventures, all of the relocation that we're going to continually see all throughout the world. It's going to be pretty huge and massive. And so we're being prepared enormously right now. Oh, before it was felt and meanwhile pulled. Yes. So you will go through so many different types of energy connection, and like just staying wide open to things, and staying wide open to the shift of like, oh yeah, there's, something's calling me to this location, something's calling me to this location, and then being open to the shifts and the changes of like, oh, maybe it's not now, or maybe it's no longer in my journey to physically go there. Maybe now it's another place or another location, or whatever the case may be. Like, there's so many things that happen. There's so many things that shift and change so much for every single one of us. It's just so massive. And so, just feeling that that's a really important energy for every single one of us, to just really stay wide open to all of the, it feels like sometimes we call them like a detour. And yes, absolutely, just going with the flow is huge. Going with the flow of every turn and twist and every detour that we may need to go through, because it is all part of preparation phase. So in any case, what I would like to do for anybody that would like to join, I did put the Zoom link in the description. I'm gonna do a little live body meditation, and I probably feel like I'll do it in a moment here. I think I've been here for like an hour, almost an hour 30, and I appreciate so much for everyone that was able to be here and that shared and that commented, and for those that were able to, or however long you were here for, doesn't matter. Thank you. Everything supports so much, and everything. These videos will be up on my profile for a while. However, I am kind of getting the feel for like pulling them out at some point, and I'll be putting them on YouTube for now. But in any case, oh, you're welcome, Pamela. Thanks for joining in. So you are open. It's an open invitation for anybody that would like to join us. I feel it does support, again, in like bringing you into your body, coming into the space of deeper connection, so that you're not fearing what's happening right now. we will continue to go through so many changes and so many things that really kicks our fears, like the fight or flight, or the what is wrong, what is happening, how do I stop this, and it's important to no longer resort to that and just keeping yourself wide open. So you're welcome. Thank you, Mary Ashley and Pamela and Daniel. Thank you so much for being here. I will probably give it a few minutes and then hop on the Zoom link that is on the description for anybody that would like to join in. And I'm doing these completely open. However, I will probably be putting them inside my Patreon as a way to, as like a storing space. I will make some available for everyone and some just for members. So yeah, if you'd like to join us there, I'll be there. Thank you. Oh, Adrian, thank you. It's so interesting. I never know who's here. It's not until you guys say something then I know. But in any case, thank you again. So much love and gratitude. I will be sharing. I don't think I put it in my profile, but I will be continuing the live energy reading course for anybody that would like to feel into, whether that will support you. That will start in June, and I have a little event page as well with more information, and you're more than welcome to also email me, and we just go deeper. Every day it's I share an exercise or an activity or a clearing to further deepen your connection, further deepen your communication with your body. And it's been beautiful. It's been even like it supports me and it supports others as well. But definitely tune in if this is aligned and if this is what you need right now, because everyone's different and everyone is in a different path and a different journey too, or like a different part of the journey. And so it's super, super important to honor where you are and honor the support that your light body needs right now. So with that, again, thank you so much. I'll see you guys next time. Sending you much love and goodbye.